attention please. The webinar event with the theme Juvenile Delinquency will begin soon. For the smoothness of the event, participants are requested to turn off the microphone and turn it on again during the discussion session. Thank you. The webinar event organized by Group 5 for Class 3A on Saturday, 26 December 2020 began. Honorable Lecturer speaking for academic purpose, Mrs. Niputu Astiti Pratiwi, SPD MPD. And respectable all participants of the Juvenile Delinquency Webinar 2020. Om Swastiastu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings to all of us. Shalom, Namo Buddhaya. Good afternoon and welcome to the Juvenile Delinquency Webinar. I am Madedina Martini Putri as Master of Ceremony today. First of all, let us pray and praise to God Almighty. Because of His blessing and mercy, we are able to hold this webinar without any obstacle and healthy condition. Ladies and gentlemen, on this nice occasion, let me deliver the agenda of this event today as follows. First, opening. Second, speech and discussion. And the last, closing. To shorten the time, let's move on to the next agenda, namely speech from the speakers, which be moderated by Ayu Kadek Surya Maharani. For moderator, time is yours.
Om Swastiastu. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for the host, Ms. Dina, for giving me the opportunity to continue today's seminars. And my name is Surya Maharani as today's moderator seminar. And I want to say thank you for our speaker who are joining our seminar today and will give us wonderful knowledge and information about juvenile delinquency. And I want to say thank you for our participants who are joining our seminar today, and thank you everyone. And in today's seminar, there are 5 speakers will give us new knowledge about juvenile delinquency, and the topics in each speaker are very interesting, so keep stay in this room. Now I would like to tell the rules during these seminars. First, the time for every speaker are 10 minutes and maybe 7 minutes to delivering the material, and then 3 minutes later will be used for discussion session. And for the participants, if you want to ask the question in discussion session for each speaker, and then turn on your microphone and then state your name and ask the question. So now let me tell you a little bit information about juvenile delinquency. Adolescence is a period where humans searching for their identity and wants to know who they really are. Therefore, it is not surprising that many teenagers try various things and end up falling into negative things. If teenagers cannot control their curiosity and fall into negative things, they can be involved in juvenile delinquency. And according to research, one of the reasons that make teenagers involved in juvenile delinquency is games. And how can games be a part of juvenile delinquency, and what are the effects of online game of teens? Now let's welcome our first speaker, Miss Eileen Serena. Miss Eileen Serena, are you here? Miss Eileen.
Okay. Yes, I'm here.
Yes, I can.
Can you hear my voice?
Okay, let me tell you a little bit information about Miss Eileen Serena. Miss Eileen Serena was born on 13 October 1995 in Denpasar. She studied in Nation University from 2013 until 2017, and she continued her study in Yale University in the United States from 2017 until 2019. She is working as psychologist in Indonesian Psychological Healthcare Center, and some of her achievements are the Outstanding Young Person of the World and the achievement as the Creative Young Generation in Indonesia in 2019. Wow. Okay, Miss Eileen, how are you?
I'm good,
I'm
Rani,
good
and
too.
how are
Okay,
you?
Miss Eileen, are you ready to delivering the material and then discuss the session? Okay,
Ready,
before
Rani?
next time, the time is yours.
Okay. Thank you for the time that given to me. My name is Eileen. You can call me Miss Eileen. And then I would like to share about the effects of online games on teens. So the first one, I want to talk with you guys. How are you today?
I'm good, Miss.
I'm fine, Miss.
I'm
I'm good,
fine,
Miss.
thank
I'm
you.
fine, Miss.
Okay, thank you all. Okay. Uh, in this, someone must have had free time in their daily lives. In that free time, there are many things that they can do, such as cooking, exercising, opening social media such as Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And there are also those who fill their spare time by playing online games like Mobile Legends, PUBG, Call of Duty, Garena Free Fire, Clash of Clans, Among Us, and many more. Um, Next slide, please. Okay, talking about games, what is game means? Okay, game is a fun activity that we can do in our spare time. Game is also an activity that uses electronic media, which is a form of multimedia entertainment that is made as attractive as possible, so that players can get something. So there is inner satisfaction. Uh, there is two kind of game is on offline games and online games. So now we talk about online games. Online game itself is a type of computer game that utilizes computer network. The network is usually used in the internet network and always uses existing technology such as modems and cable connection. And in this modern era, the internet connection can be used in smartphones. So online games are also available on our smartphone that have an internet network. To get the game on your cell phone, you only need to download it in Google Play Store for Android and Apple Store for iOS. So guys, I guess everyone must have to play the game, whether the individual game to complete the challenge or group games to fight each other. Because the game is a fun activity that we can do in our free time. Okay, next slide please. Um, the theme we bring the theme in this seminar is juvenile delinquency. So is gaming included in juvenile delinquency? Hmm. I could say both yes or no. It all depends on how we regulate our patterns of playing games and also how the games that we play do not interfere with our activities and obligation. It can be said that is juvenile delinquency when a teenager only focuses on playing game and spending much money on the game itself. And if someone cannot be spirited on the game he plays, it has a negative impact. And then it can be said that it's not juvenile delinquency when a teenager is able to condition when he is playing games and when he does the obligation he has to complete, such as praying, studying, and so on. And also when the game is bring positive impact. And the next is next slide please. So, what effect can be caused by playing games? The first one is addiction. Playing online games continuously will certainly cause addiction and cause someone to want to continue playing these online games. If they don't play for a day, then they will feel restless. Next slide, please. Okay, these are the following characteristics if someone is addicted to playing games. The first one is feeling anxious and irritable if not allowed to play. The second is all he had in mind were only online games. So when his mother asked him to do something, the topic he talked about was also about the game. The next is always want to play the game continuously, and it is difficult if told to stop. And the next is don't care about the people around you, even reluctant to socialize with peers. And the last is experiencing migraines and tired eyes from looking at computer screens or gadgets for too long. Next, please. Next slide. Okay, the next is forgetting time. As I said before, playing games will certainly make someone forget the time to do other activities, such as their obligation to study, and even they can forgetting to do worship, which is their obligation. Uh, Next is interrupted eye health. Staring, staring at the computer screen or gadget for too long while playing games will automatically decrease the child eye health, starting from eye fatigue, minus increases to eye nerve damage. And the next effect is motor impairment. Just sitting playing games all day also makes children or okay, I'm sorry for the mistakes. Uh, so the next is motor impairment. Just sitting playing games all day also makes teenager move less. As a result, over time, the motor skill of teenagers will decline, so that their body growth is not optimal, and the teenager is a risk of obesity. The next is joint pain. When he playing games, children, teenagers unconsciously slouch or lie down. The sitting position is not a healthy sitting position. If a teenager sit in the wrong position for too long, it can make their muscles feel stiff and cause joint pain. Uh, the next effect is reducing children concentration levels. According to research, addiction to playing games can make children experience concentration problems. When children like to play games, there will be changes in the dendrite structure of cell in the brain. This results in the child's concentration decreasing so that he easily forgets and fail to focus. Radiation exposure from electronic devices can also weaken the teenager concentration. The next slide, please. And then poorly socialized teenagers. Teens who are addicted to playing games will usually prefer to play on the computer at home rather than play outside with their friends. As a result, teenagers will be awkward or less competent if they have to socialize with their surroundings. Next effect is communication problems. Not only is social skill problems, teenagers who are addicted to games will also have difficulty communicate, communicating. Communication activities are not just listening and responding to the words of others, but also include reading the expression of other person. Teenagers who are less sociable usually have difficulty doing this. Um, the next is make children more aggressive. Children who are addicted to playing games that contain elements of violence, such as wars, battles, and so on, will usually be more aggressive and have high emotions. And the last is get used to using bad language. According to my survey on my Instagram, I conducted with my followers on Instagram. The voting was followed by 72 people. Next slide, please. Next. Next. Okay. but followed by 72 people, and I got the result that 68% of people will say harsh word while playing. Then I asked the two people who participated in the voting. I asked why they always use harsh word when playing games. He replied because by letting out harsh language, he could relieve himself in his emotion when he lost playing games. And the other one answered that if you don't say harshly, playing games doesn't feel fun because from harsh word that we release our emotion, and that's the answer. Please back slide before this slide. Okay. How can harsh word become a juvenile delinquency? In adolescence, usually the habit of swearing or speaking harshly is motivated by desire to confirm with their friend, so that they are considered slang. The habit of swearing or saying harsh words is more potential for individuals who live in the same environment, both in the family environment and in the school environment. Children, teenagers in the environment with a habit of swearing or speaking harshly will think this is normal. Meanwhile, individuals who live in the opposite environment will better understand that this is bad behavior. Harsh word or swearing can also occur in people with personalities negativistic. This is done to lower the self-esteem of the interlocutor because there is a feeling of fear because he is dropped by the other person. Next slide. Next. Okay. What effect can harsh word have? The repercussion of speaking harshly will actually be more devastating than physical violence. In addition, it has a negative impact on those who speak harshly, especially on the subject on the word. The person who speaks harshly shows his inability to handle the environment well, may feel angry, upset, disappointed with the behavior of other people or the environment toward us. But we should be able to think rationally before we speak convey this negative emotion. So, good or bad word will have a big impact on those who hear them. All word, good or bad, come back to oneself. If we keep hearing negative word that written on our self-esteem, over time we will believe that we are like that and start behaving negatively. Next slide. So how to handle the negative effect of playing online games? Next. The first one is create a tight gameplay schedule play game. Uh, a very effective way to overcome online game addiction is to create a tight schedule. That way you can divide your time between playing games and doing your duty. In addition, to make the game schedule just a display, you must be consistent in obeying it. Not only that, try to make it habit to limit that time in playing games. That way you can write in a note as a reminder. That way you can review the time you spend playing the game. The second is place the smartphone and console outdoors. Those who like to play games tend to put their smartphones and consoles in the bedroom. This is usually done to facilitate their access to play game late into the night while lying on their mattress. To overcome this online game addiction, try to put smartphones and consoles away from your room. This is expected to reduce the time that you spend playing the game. The third is take care of yourself. Busy with a variety of other activities such as exercising can be a very effective way to dealing with online game addiction. In addition to being able to divert your presence from a smartphone or television, exercising is also good for health. Please not sitting Please note, sitting too long while playing games can cause harm to the body. Therefore, try to keep yourself busy with other activities to stay active. The fourth is socialize with friends and family. Playing games is very exciting, especially with friends. But remember, socializing with relative and family in real life is just as important. Socializing and joking with friends and family is a powerful way to overcome online gaming addiction. In the meantime, you can break free from online gaming in addition to interact with people in real life. And the next is explore talent in the real world. To avoid addiction to online games, you must start a new lifestyle to explore talent in the real world. For example, you like to cook and mix food, try to find out recipes from cyberspace, then try to cook them at home with your family while honing your skills and exploring talents. This is done to find the new habit or lifestyle that you like so that then you can get away from the state of online games. And the last but not least is ask for help from family and friends. Never underestimate the help of family and friends to save you from addiction to online games. If the habit of playing games has damaged your relationship with those around you, then one effective way to deal with it to ask for their help. By asking the people closest to you for help, you may get new suggestions or insight for breakaway from online gaming addiction. That way you can reconnect with close family members, partner, or friends. Next slide. Okay, not please. No one prohibits you from playing games, especially if it's your hobby. But remember, playing excessive games can have a negative impact on physical and mental health also. Therefore, knowing various ways to overcome online games addiction is, of course, very important. Okay, thank you for the uh, just just like that for the material. Thank you for your attention. The time I will give back to moderator Rani, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Eileen, for the knowledge. Okay, now let's we move to the
Welcome.
discussion. Is there any question? Uh, you can turn on your microphone, state your name, and then ask the question. Please.
Can I ask question, please?
Yes, you. Your name, please.
Okay, thank you for the time that given to me. My name is Gita Puspita, and my question is, what do you think about people who make gaming their job and sometimes they can reap achievement in playing games? What do you think about it? Thank you.
Okay, Miss Eileen, is the question clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, to answer the question from Gita Puspita, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Such a good question from Gita. Thank you. Uh, as I explained the material earlier, games can be said to be included in juvenile delinquency and not. In that case, gaming is a positive thing because it is able to reap achievement and make money so that it can be continued and is not included in juvenile delinquency. So, however, to manage your time properly, maintain your physical and mental health, and also remember to do your obligated. Um, that's all. Do you get it? The answer, Gita?
Yes, Miss. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gita Puspita, for asking. Now I will open for the next question. Is there still any question? Please.
Bintang want to ask question too.
Okay, Bintang, please.
Okay.
Ask the
Thank you for the time. I'm sorry I cannot on my camera because I have a bad connection here. So my question is regarding the game. Why is the game one of the sport that are contest when the game doesn't sweat and doesn't use much physical activity? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes, clear. Okay, Miss Eileen, please answer the question from Bintang.
Okay. Your question is why is the game one of the sport that are contested when the game doesn't sweat and doesn't use much physical activity, right, Bintang?
Yeah.
Okay. Such a good question, Bintang. So my answer is many people think that sports are synonymous with sweaty physical activity. Then what about chess, where the players don't make many movement like sport in general? For this reason, if investigated further, it turns out that sport can be categorized as a sport. One of the most prominent reasons why sport can be categorized as a sport is because there are similarities between sport and sport physical. Sports are often contested to find the best individual or team based on score or point. Sport is no different. Like an Olympics, sport is a competitive game. In one of the esport branches, such as Counter-Strike, for example, in this game you are required to collect as many points as possible to become the best player and to get the winner. It's same like the sport with the physical movement. Do you get the answer, Bintang?
Yeah, I get it. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you so much for the good question, Bintang. Um, I give back to Rani, please.
Okay, thank you for the question, Miss Eileen. Now I would like to conclude this topic. Online games such as Mobile Legends, Free Fire, and the others. Gaming can include in juvenile delinquency if they are focused in playing game, spending money on game, forgetting time, addiction in game, joint pain, reducing concentration, and bring into a habit bad language or harsh word. The effect of harsh word itself involves into negative behavior. Harsh word also can hurt someone's feelings, and how to overcome to the negative impact of playing game. First, you can make schedule so you can divide your time for playing online game and other activity. And second, busy with positive activities, such you can it can reduce gaming addiction, such as exercising, exploring new talent, and socializing with friends or family. And last, ask help for family and friends if you cannot get through from online game addiction. And also, you can play online game, but playing excessive game can have negative impact on physical and mental health. Okay, thank you so much, Miss Eileen, for this topic. Now let's move to the next topic. Okay, game, like the last topic, game is one of the factors that can make teenager involved into a juvenile delinquency. There is also another juvenile delinquency that is familiar in our ear. That is drugs. Using drugs is one of the juvenile delinquency. And why drugs are so closely related to the juvenile delinquency, and what are the effects of using drugs on teens' lifestyle. Now, please welcome our second speaker, Miss Indah Pratiwi. Miss Indah Pratiwi, are you here? Miss Indah?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. How are you, Miss Indah?
Okay, I'm fine. Thank you. And you?
I'm fine too. Okay, now I would like to tell you a little bit information about Miss Indah Pratiwi. Miss Indah Pratiwi was born on 8 July 1995 in Nusa Penida, and she studied in the Universitas Negeri Malang, I'm sorry, and she have achieved some achievement in first Panasonic Global Award, and second most progressive figure, and second and last young global leader from World Economic. Okay, Miss Indah, are you ready to deliver the material?
Yes, I'm ready, Rani.
Okay, for next time, the time is yours.
Okay, hello everyone. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine, Miss.
I'm
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Okay. Today I will explain about one topic that is the effect of drugs on teens' lifestyle. So many people certainly know about drugs itself, but today I will explain more about it. The first one is the definition about drugs. Drugs is psychotropic compounds commonly used to sedate patients during surgery or drugs for certain disease. But now this perception is misinterpreted because it is used outside of the intent, use, and dosage. Drugs is also any substance that cause a change in organism psychology when people consume it. Drugs are typically distinguished from food and substances that provide nutrition support. And consumption of drugs.
To interrupt. The share screen, we cannot see the share screen. Maybe we can wait for a moment and start from for the share screen.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Indah. Now the time is yours.
Okay. I want to repeat about the definition. The definition of drugs is psychotropic compound commonly used to sedate patient during surgery or drugs for certain disease. But now this perception is misinterpreted because it is used outside of the intent, use, and dosage. Drugs is also any substance that cause a change in organism psychology when people consume it. Drugs are typically distinguished from food and substances that provide nutrition support. Consumption of drugs can be via inhalation, injection, smoking, ingestion, absorption via a patch of the skin, suppository, or dissolution under the tongue. In other hands, drugs also called by the name narcotics. Narcotics are substances derived from uh, plants or non-plants, both synthetic and semi-synthetic, which can cause a disease or change in consciousness, loss of pain, and also can lead to dependence. And next, the definition of psychotropic are substance, both natural and synthetic, and it is not narcotic, which have psychoactive properties through selective influence on the central nervous system that cause change in mental activities and behavior. Other dangers of um, under other dangers of natural, semi-synthetic, or synthetic materials that can be used as substitute for morphine or cocaine, which can be disrupt the central nervous system, such as alcohol containing ethanol inhaled in the form of organic substance, which products the same effects as the products by alcoholic beverage or anesthetic drugs if the aroma is smoke. Okay, next slide, please. Next, please. Okay. Next is group by effect of use drugs. Based on the effects on the users, drugs are grouped as follow. The first is hallucinogens. That is the effect of drugs that can cause the person to hallucinate by seeing things or things that do not exist or are not real. It will happen when consumed in certain doses. For example, is cocaine and LSD. LSD is a new type of hallucinogenic chemical obtained by fungi that grow on rye. And the second one is stimulant. That is the effect of drugs that can cause the work of organs such as the heart and brain to work faster than usual, resulting in the user being more energetic and tend to make him or her happier and happier for a while. And the third one is depressant, which are the effect of drugs that can suppress the central nervous system and reduce the body's functional activity so that the user feels calm and even fall asleep and is unconscious. For example, is putau. And fourth is addictive. That is the effect of drugs that cause addiction. Someone who has consumed drugs will usually want and want more because certain substances in drugs make a person tend to be passive because drugs indirectly cut the nerves in the brain. For example, is cannabis plants and putau, and also heroin. So if it too long and has been depend on drugs, gradually the organ in the body will be damaged, and if it has exceeded the doses, the user will overdoses and eventually lead to death. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now I will explain about the use of each drug. The first one that is cannabis plants. The cannabis plant has been known the human for a long time and is used as a material for making bag because of the strong fiber in products. Cannabis seeds are also used to source of oil. However, because cannabis plant is also known as sort of narcotic and this use has more economic value, people grow more for it and it is abused in many places. In some countries, the cultivation of cannabis is completely prohibited. In some other countries, cannabis cultivation is allowed for the benefit of its fiber utilization. The condition is that the variety plant must contain very low or no narcotic substance. Before there was a strict ban on cannabis cultivation. In Indonesia, especially in Aceh, cannabis leaves were a vegetable component and was commonly served. For its user, dried that cannabis plants leaves are burned and smoked like cigarettes and can also be smoked with a special tools called a bong. This plant can be found in almost every tropical country. Even some countries in cold climates have started to cultivate in greenhouse. So that's about cannabis plants. Next is about morphine. Morphine is very strong analgesic alkaloid and is the main active agent found in opium. Morphine acts directly on the central nervous system to relieve pain. Side effects of morphine include decreased consciousness, euphoria, drowsiness, lethargy, and blurred vision. Morphine also reduces hunger, stimulates cooling, and causes constipation. Morphine creates a high dependence that other substances. Morphine patients also reported to suffer from insomnia and nightmare. The word morphine comes from Morphos, the god of dreams in Greek mythology. And the last one is cocaine. Cocaine is a synthetic compound that triggers a very fast cellular metabolism. Cocaine is an alkaloid that is obtained from the erythroxylon coca plant, which is native to South America, where the leaves of this plant are usually chewed by local people for a stimulant effect. Currently, cocaine is still used as a local anesthetic, especially for eyes, nose, and throat surgeries because its vasoconstriction effect is also helpful. Cocaine is classified as a narcotic along with morphine and heroin because of its addictive effect. Until now, the spread of drug abuse can hardly be prevented, given that almost the entire world population can easily get drug from irresponsible people. Of course, this can make parents, community, organization, and the government worry. Effort to eradicate drugs have often been carried out, but there is still little chance of avoid drugs among adolescents and adults. Even many children of elementary and junior high school age have fallen into drugs abuse. Until now, the most effective effort to prevent drugs abuse in children is family education. Parents are expected to supervise and educate their children to stay away from drug abuse. So that's all about the definition, types, and groups of narcotics, cocaine, and morphine. And then I will explain about the effects of drugs on teens' lifestyle. Next slide, please. Okay, next is drugs abuse in caused by several factors, including the following. The first one is lack of self-control. People who try to abuse drugs usually have little knowledge about drugs, the dangers they cause, and the law against drug abuse. And the second one is individual conflict or unstable emotion. People who experience conflict will experience frustration. Individuals who are not used to problem solving tend to use drugs because they mistakenly think that the anxiety caused by the individual conflict can be reduced by consuming drugs. And the third one is accustomed to be happy or luxurious life. People who are accustomed to living in luxury often try to avoid more complicated problems. Usually, they prefer instant, practical, or short-time problem solving, so they will choose simple way that can provide pleasure through drugs abuse that can give an excessive sense of euphoria. And next is social environment. Motive of curiosity in adolescence, a common person has curiosity and then after that want to try it. For example, by knowing narcotics, psychotropic substance or liquor or other dangerous substance. There is opportunity because parents are busy with their respective activities. Perhaps it's also because of lack of affection from the family or because of a broken home. And second is facility and infrastructure because parents give expensive facility and expensive money. This is a trigger to miss the money to buy narcotic to satisfy their curiosity. Not only that, but in personality also have the effect. There are the first is low self-esteem, feeling of inferiority in social relationship in the community or at school, work, etc. They overcome this problem by abusing narcotic, psychotropic drugs or alcohol, which is done to cover up their shortcoming so that they get what they want, such as by being more active and courageous. And the second is emotional and mental. And this time they usually want to get away from all the rules from their parents. And finally, as a place of escape, namely by using narcotics, psychotropic substance, and other alcoholic beverage. A person's mental weakness will be more easily influenced by negative action, which ultimately lead to the use of narcotic, psychotropic substance, and other alcoholic beverage. So next slide, please. Next is there are several symptoms for drug user. For the first is psycho symptoms include 5. The first one is weight loss drastically. The eyes look sunken and red. The face is pale and the lips are blackish. The hands are covered with red spot like mosquito bites, and there are marks of the incision scars, scratching and discoloration of the skin at the injection site. And also the fetch and urine less smoothly, and last is constipation or stomach pain for no apparent reason. And also emotional include four or more. That is, the first is very sensitive and get bored quickly. When reprimand or scold, show an attitude of defiance, emotional fluence, and don't hesitate to hit people or speak harshly to family members or those around them. Behavior and lazy and often forget their responsibility and routine tasks. Next is show uncaring and distant from family. Often meet people who are not familiar with the family, live without saying goodbye, and come home in the middle of the night. Like to steal money at home, school, or work and found valuable at home. Likewise, with his valuable, many were lost. Always running out of money. Time at home is often spent in bedroom, toilet, storeroom, dark room, bathroom, and other quiet place. Fear of water and lazy to take a shower. When exposed to water, it will hurt. Frequent coach and prolonged runny nose, and the last is yawn often. So next is the dangers of drugs for teenagers and students are followed. Drugs use can cause negative effects that will cause mental and behavior disorder, resulting in disruption of the neurotransmitter system in the central nervous system in the brain. Disorder of the neurotransmitter system will result in disruption of cognitive function, affective, psychomotor, and social aspect. Various attempts to overcome and development of drugs addict have been made, but collided with the weakness of the law. Some evidence of the weakness of the law against drugs is that the punis of drug traffickers and addicts is very light. Even alcoholic drinks above 40% are often facilitated by government. As a comparison, in Malaysia, if a dealer or addict is caught carrying 5 grams or more, the person will be sentenced to death. Adolescence in developmental phase between childhood and adulthood. The development of a person in childhood and adolescence will shape the development of that person in adulthood. That's why when children or adolescents are damaged by drugs, their future will be black or when destroyed. In adolescence, it is precisely the desire to experiment, follow trend and lifestyle, and have a great fun. Although all these tendencies are normal, they can also make it easier for teenagers to be complete to abuse drugs. The data show that the large number of drugs users are adolescents. The problem becomes even more serious if becomes of drug use. Adolescents are infected and transmit HIV or AIDS among adolescents. This has been proven from the use of drugs through the syringe in the trunk. This nation will lose a lot of teenagers due to drugs abuse and the spread of HIV/AIDS. Losing a teenager is the same as losing human resource for the nation. The abuse of narcotics and illicit drugs among the younger generation today is increasing. The proliferation of deviant behavior of the younger generation can endanger the survival of this nation in the future. Because youth, as the generation expect to be the national successor, are increasingly vulnerable to being eaten away by never-destroying addictive substance, so that the young men could not think clearly. As a result, the generation a hope for a nation that is strong and intelligent will only remain a memory. The target of the spread of drugs is young people or teenagers. On average, the target age for this drug is student age, which is between 11 and 24 until 24 years of age. This indicates that the dangers of drugs at any time can target our student at any time. At first, a student who took drugs usually start with introduction to cigarette because the smoking habit seems to have become a natural thing among students today. From this habit, association continues to increase, especially when the student join the environment of people who are already drug addicted. Initially tried, then experience addiction. So the next slide, please. Oh, back, Mary. Okay. There are several steps that can be taken to prevent drugs abuse, which are the first one is never try to use narcotics unless on a medical or doctor basis. And second, knowing the various kind of bad effect of drugs. The third is choose a good association and stay away from association that can lead us to drug abuse. Having positive activities, exercising or participating in organizational activities that have a positive influence on us. Always remind you that the threat of punishment for drugs abuse, especially for drug triggers in penitentiary. Use a safe time and place. Do not go out at night. Relax with family, picnic, eat together, cook together, clean up together, and watch movie with family. If you have a problem, then find a good solution and do not use drugs as escape route. Effort to prevent the spread of drugs among students should be our collective responsibility. And then the school must carry out strict supervision of the movement of their student because usually the spread or transaction of drugs often occur around the school environment. And the last one is providing correct and clear information and knowledge about the dangers of drugs abuse to our young generation before the children find out from their friends, which might give a wrong understanding or vice versa. So, in the conclusion, do not and never ever use the drugs, especially narcotic, cocaine, or morphine, because you don't know what will happen to you tomorrow after you consume it. Please love yourself, take care of yourself as best as you can, and always think that healthy is the main important things in your life. So that's all for me. Thank you for attention. And there are a question.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Indah Pratiwi, for the explanation. Now we would like to move to discussion session. If there is any question, please turn on the microphone, state your name, and then ask the question, please. Yes?
Dewayu Kartika want to ask.
Okay, Dewayu, please.
Okay, from the explanation that presented by Miss Indah, I want to ask question that why cannabis plant is illegal in one area but legal in another area?
Okay, thank you for question, Dewayu. Ms. Indah, is it clear?
Okay, it's clear.
Okay, to answer the question from Dewayu, the time is yours.
Okay, Ms. Dewayu, thank you for the question. I will answer your question. In Indonesia, cannabis plant is prohibited because cannabis is narcotics. Cannabis is prohibited because it contains psychotropic elements that cause change in personal mental and activity change. Even though there are areas in Indonesia that are known as cannabis producing area, namely Aceh. Aceh is famous for using cannabis as a cooking spice, not as tool for getting together. Still in Aceh, cannabis is illegal and the cultivation activity is clandestine. In the medical world, cannabis is known to have many benefits. Cannabis is even called a miracle plant because of its many positive effects. But research on the positive effects of cannabis has not been maximized because the ban makes the process of obtaining permits complicated. Due to positive effects of cannabis, many countries have lifted their cannabis ban. They legalize cannabis under strict conditions and cannot be used carelessly. That way, the circulation of illegal cannabis can be suppressed. The medical benefits obtained from cannabis are to prevent muscle spasm for people with epilepsy, reduce pain, and treat depression. In countries or region where cannabis is legal, this decision is based on the fact that although cannabis is addictive and in psychologically and psychologically, its effects are not safer and safer of opium. A number of countries are list as legalizing cannabis, although in Netherlands, Canada, South Africa, and Uruguay. People can even make cannabis for fun. There are more countries that still ban cannabis as substitute for cigarette, but allow is medicine. That's all, Miss Dewayu.
Okay, thank you for the answer, Miss Indah. Can you get the point?
Yes, I can get the point. Thank you for the great answer, Miss Indah.
Okay, for next we will open one question. If you have question, please answer the question. Please ask the question.
Hello, may I ask?
Yes. What is your name?
My name is Agung Ayu.
Okay, Agung Ayu, please ask the question.
Okay, I have a question for Miss Indah. What are the stage of rehabilitation for drug addicts? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question, Agung Ayu. Miss Indah, is that clear?
Yes, that's clear.
Okay, please answer the question.
Okay, thank you, Miss Gungayu. I will answer your question. There are 3 stages of drugs rehabilitation that must be undertaken. The first one is the medical rehabilitation stage. Is a process in which the addict stop drugs abuse under the supervision of a doctor to reduce withdrawal symptoms. At this stage, drugs addict need to be monitored in the hospital by doctor. And the second one is non-medical rehabilitation stage, which includes various programs in the rehabilitation place. For example, therapy communities or TZ program, religious approach, or moral and social support. And the third is the advanced development stage will provide activities according to interests and talents. Addicts who have successfully passed in this stage can return to society, either to go to the school or return to work. That's all, Ms. Gungayu.
Okay, Agung Ayu, is that clear from Miss Indah?
It's clear. Thank you for the answer, Miss Indah.
Okay.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Miss Indah, for the information and your knowledge about drugs. No, so the drugs abuse is caused by several factors. And first, lack of self-control, individual conflict, and social environment. And how to prevent drug abuse. First, never try narcotics unless on medical doctor's visit. And second, having positive activities such as exercise and many more. And last, knowing the dangers of drugs. Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Indah. Now let's we move to the next topics.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next topic is from Miss Ari. Miss Ari, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Surya Maharani.
Okay. Let me tell a little bit information about Miss Ari. Miss Ari Sukmayanti was born on 24th May 2001. She studied in English Education Department, Garissa University. She's trained at Seniors High School in Denpasar. She also worked at a course lecturer of Educational Center. She achieved several achievements. The winner of Reading Poetry in School in 2008 and also 2019, and the winner of the Best Drama Director. Okay, Miss Ari, your topics is about should we have a free sex with our couple to show how much we love him. It is very interesting topic. Are you ready to delivering the material, Miss Ari?
Okay, I'm ready. Please share
Okay.
screen.
I would like to remind before, I'm sorry because I forget, the time for the speaker delivering the material is 10 minutes. So I will remind you if you more than 10 minutes, okay?
Okay,
Almost more than. Okay, the time is yours.
okay. Before I want to share my material here. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm so grateful that I can share my material that related to teenagers this era. This time we will kind of discuss session about a healthy relationship and sex education in general. One fact is that become our most concern. So before I want to share material, I want to ask you, did you have fell in love with someone? Someone can answer me?
Yes, I have, Miss.
Okay, how it feels when you are fall in love with someone? It's like some butterflies in your chest, like no. But in this occasion, when someone has forced to have to do something like you should have sex with them because you love him, that is not abnormal for me. Okay. So I want to tell about the reason why I decide to talk about this topic. So I'll say there, this situation is not complicated. This in the age like you, it's time to seek for self-acquisition. Self-acquisitions that the enthusiasm to try new things is big. In the space, you start to be interested with the others. You start to know about love. That's common. It was only with your age and experience what we call love. But such feeling will lead negative things if you go too far. Too much love with the common sense will lead to see free sex. Do you still remember about sex tape that has gone viral? This just not happened once or twice. And who are the subject in the video? Unfortunately, it came from a young girl and had same age like us. In the age crumbling become adult, you want to try many things without thinking twice. Can you imagine what the subject of the video felt after their sex tape gone viral? Not only their heart only broken, because they got betrayed by the couple because of unhealthy relationship. Literally, the future was broken. They will feel the shame as long as they live. The family involved in unfortunate situation. Basically, love can be motivation and leads to positive things if you do it wisely. I bet all you ever fell in love and be more enthusiastic to go to school or college, right? Is that what happens support or you are involved in supportive relationship? You will get many benefits. You can study together and help each other. That is the result of having relationship based on moral and good attitude. Okay, if you've fallen for someone, how do you know it's the real deal or just temporary phase? For instance, feelings or lust and love can be similar, but they may end up playing out differently down the road. Though it may be difficult, learning how to know whether you are in love with lust is important, as you can better judge the amount of energy, effort, and investment may you can put in the relationship long term. If you simply lust, you might not want to consider such a large commitment as you would with someone you see a potential future or have a deep emotional connection with. Now let's move to my presentation about how to differ between love and lust. This occasion came because someone who had relationship always felt happy. They were happy to see and to have a trust each other. Also, they like to give commitment to have a strong relationship. Sometimes many people like to cheat their others with beautiful words, like they are saying, "I love you, I need you until the end." Another, "I want to marry you," and something like the others. Like so, uh, sometimes people that's cruel, right? That take a benefit from someone and then leave her shamelessly in the body. It could happen if we are very selective to know someone if they love you or just take benefit or their lust. Now you can see the differences between love and lust. Okay. Uh, next. Okay, this is you can differ between love and lust. Love is a passionate and deep affection to the other. Sometimes love comes because we feel safe when we stay with him. Couples who love each other like to support each other and respect of any opinions that you have. When you are in love, stakes may seem higher and you're willing to sacrifice more to your partner. According to studies led by Dr. Helen Fisher, the anthropologist Rutgers in university, when you are in love, you're willing to sacrifice nearly anything for the other person. So much that it could happen if you put harm's way and major inconvenience as you're making features as a partner priority. And the second is lust. Lust is only came when you are seeing like, wow, this people is beautiful. They have a shape on her body, and the other things that they have. So, lust is any craving for sexual desire is the best lust can do that draws to us partners and allows the deep physical connection. Is that words lust be fooled by idealization projection of what we want to see rather than the reality of the person and situation. Additionally, it's a wild and dangerous misconception and ongoing lust experience for longer term relationship. How you okay, now let's differ how to tell is love or lust. While there are no rules when it comes to love, here are some helpful distinctions to consider if you are worried that relationship is simply based on lust and not suitable for a long-term relationship. So there are two questions when you want to asking that this is lust and love. Okay, for the first is why are you interested in relationship? Lust alone is interested only with partners sexually. Love is interest in getting to know the person over time. And second question to know that your couple is in lust or love is lust attempts to keep relationship on ideal level. Love expand to having difficulty relationship and exploring painful emotions. And let's go to the next slide. Next.
I'm sorry to interrupt. You have 3 minutes left.
2 minutes? Okay. Okay,
3
2 minutes.
minutes.
3 minutes? Okay. Next. Okay. There are such many factors they did it. There is from the promises, curiosity, and have much information to do it. Then big promise come from sometimes came from our words, right? When you need to promise your couples to having, oh, sir, I need to love you more, but I can handle it until the end. That is came not from love. This came from lust. They only want to enjoy the things that you have, and then want to let you go. So if you want, if you feel that someone need to having sex with you, and then they need to tell how much you love him, so you couldn't do that. You couldn't. You should not do that because even if you are feel curious about it, please that you need to prevent it because word can be trust. Any people not can be trusted. Any people can be trusted by yourself because the one you can trust is yourself, not people. And you know how to prevent it. It came from you know you must need have much information about yourself. Much information about him, then who are he, and where you are taking place with him, and also you need to have sex education from a child. So it's important to you. So after you decide to know your couple, you need to about uh, cal- you need to learn about comprehensive sexuality education that is a curriculum-based process of teaching and learning about cognitive, emotional, physical, and social aspects of sexuality. So it plays a crucial role in addressing health and well-being in children, young people, applying a learner-centered approach. So there's not any genders that can learn about this. So all genders can learn about the sexual education because if we are get spread from sexual physicals like HIV and others, you will be get hurt for that. Okay, that is my presentation. So thank you for today, and let me ask for someone who can ask for me. Okay, before that, I have a quote from William Shakespeare that is from that's from my favorite quotes. So I want to read it. Love survives is not. Lust is like golden dice. Love is all truth, and lust full of forget lies. William Shakespeare. That's from my favorite quotes. Thank you, and don't forget to ask me. Anyone?
Okay, thank you, Miss Ari, for the explanation.
Okay.
Okay, I want to ask you a question, Miss Ari.
Okay, who?
What do you think if you have been forced by our couple to did it? I mean, yeah, free sex.
Okay, okay, Rani. If he's truly forcing you to have sex as any painting and you down and you are saying no, but he continued that kills rape. It's illegal everywhere and he needs to be arrested. If you are using hyperbole and he's simply forcing you by giving you ultimatum or some words, some sort, then dump him, no one should pressure you to do something if you don't want to do it. Don't use the phrase forcing me to have sex lightly, life or stakes. That's from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the explanation, Miss Ari. Okay, I would like to open one question again for this topic. Is there any question from the participants?
Uh, for the next question. For the next question, can you repeat again? Can you repeat?
If there is no question, we would like to move to the next topic. For the participants, do you have question?
No, don't. I don't have a question again. So this is my last question.
Okay, because no one is asking. Now let's thank you, Miss Ari, for the information and the explanation. Thank you for joining our seminar today and give us new knowledge about this. Now I would like to give free sex is do sex before marriage, and so we have sex to prove our love, and we need to differ love and lust. Some of the teenagers in that age They are curious about many things. If our partners want to have sex with us and tell because they love us and promises many things, and do not get easy to believe that. Okay, I think that's all the message from me that I can get from Miss Ari presentation. Okay, next let's we move to the next topics. Okay, the next topic of juvenile delinquency, which is bully. Bullying can happen anywhere and anytime. Bullying is not funny, and the victims are the most suffer here. So, what are the effects of bullying itself? Bullying, especially on our mental health. Okay, now please welcome our second. I'm sorry. Please welcome Miss Christine Karina. Are you here, Miss Christine Karina?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can. How are you, Miss Christine?
Oh, I'm good. How about you?
I'm good too. Okay. Thank you for joining our seminar today. And now I would like to give a little bit information about Miss Christine. Miss Christine Karina was born on 4th May 1996 in Seoul, and she studied in Seoul National University from 2014 until 2017. She is working on Halim University Medical Center as the psychologist, and one of her achievements is as the best psychologist in South Korea. Wow, thank you for coming, Miss Christine. Miss Christine, are you ready to deliver the material?
Of course, I'm ready.
Okay, now the time is yours.
Okay, thank you for your time. Hello, everyone. How are you? I
I'm
hope
good.
you are in good condition
I'm
today.
fine.
Okay, as we know, in the theme of the seminar today is the juvenile delinquency. And then I will present one of the topics that will match with the theme of the seminar today. My topic is the effect of bullying on mental health. Yeah, bullying is one kind of juvenile delinquency. I believe that you are familiar with my topic of exposure this time. So, what is bullying actually? Can you next slide, please? Okay. Bullying is all form of violence usually committed deliberately by one person or group of a people who are stronger and more powerful and have the power to others to harm and to be committed continuously. So, bullying is includes all a form of violence, whether it is ridicule, hitting, intimidation, and cause physical effects such as injuries, even the cause physical disabilities, and also causes mental distress suffered by the victim to make the bully decide to commit suicide because the bullying is committed over and over again. So sometimes the simple thing that always to jokes is often considered of the bullying. For example, when you meet a friend who has not seen you in a long time, you will be inclined to give a physical command to your friend like, why do you look so fatter? Or why is your face so full of pimples? Or even, why your skin looks darker, like that. So, without realizing it, you've become a bully of your friend. And then, let us consider further the types of bullying. Next slide, please. Okay, The type of bullying. The first one is the physical bullying. Physical bullying is the easiest form of bullying to identify and more identifiable among other forms of bullying. Perpetrators of bullying usually make direct physical contact with their victim, so the usual we can see clearly that someone is experiencing bullying. For example, strike, drive, slap, push, or anything that could cause sores and physical wounds, even physical disabilities. And then the second one is the verbal bullying. Verbal violence is the most common form of bullying used, both by girls or boys. Usually, the preparation of this bullying are used with the words and sentences that will have a negative effect or put mental stress or a victim. Usually, this type of bullying is more often a word or phrases that cause the victim become embittered and depressed. Next slide, please. Okay, the third is relational bullying. Relational bullying is making the victim weakened by the systematic bullying through neglect, exclusion, and act of removal, and a powerful tool of oppression. In this type of oppression is emphasis more on discrimination, whether it is social or individual. The last one is the cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a form of bullying due to the proliferation of the technology, the internet, and social media. The cyberbullying victims are constantly getting negative message from a good bullies, from texting, messaging, or the internet, or and the other social media. Now, this type of bullying use media and intermediary, for example, to malicious comment, dissemination of hate, slander, manipulation of the social media of the victim then that causes a mental health disorder. Next page, please. Okay, I'm going to present about the role in bullying. The first we can get is a bully. A bully is someone who physically and emotionally hurt other over and over again. And then the second one is the victim. The victim of bullying is one who is often the target of aggressive behavior, hurtful of behavior, and shows little resistance against an attacker. Okay, can you move another slide? Okay, the third is bully victim. Bully victim is those who engage in aggressive behavior but are also victim of aggressive behavior. And the last one is neutral. Neutral is those who do not engage in aggressive behavior or bullying. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, we are going to talk about the underlying factor of bullying. Next slide, please.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Miss.
Yes.
You still have 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay, the underlying factor of bullying is a family. Bullies often come from troubled family. Many people in one of family is unaware that they are committed such act of the physical and verbal abuse. This will incline a child who experienced bullying in their family turn a child into a bully. And also in families where the parent argue a lot and get physical abuse, it affects their children a lot in mental. So the second one, move please, is a school. The school authorities have often ignored the nature of the bullying as a result. children as a bullying get a reinforcement against their behavior to bully other children. In school, too, there is often bullying as a result of delinquency in school. This is the beginning of the bullying factor in the school environment. Move, please. Peer factor. Children who interact in school and with friends around the house are sometimes encouraged to perform bullying. Children who interact in school and with friends and around the house are sometimes encouraged to perform bullying. Some children perform bullying in an attempt to prove that they can belong to a certain group, even though they themselves feel uneasy about the behavior. Bullying is a company of the friend and also very common. Move, please. And then, social environment. The social condition can also be the factor in the bullying behavior. Of the factor on the social environment then causes bullying in property. Those who live in a property do almost anything to make ends meet. So it is not surprising that school bullying is common. Move, please. Television show and print media. Television and media form a pattern of the bullying behavior they show. I have a survey conducted in 2019 showed that 56.9% of children reflect on the film they shows. Generally, they imitate a movement 94% and the word is the 43%. Okay, next slide, please. And the last one is the effect of bullying on mental health. Of course, the bullying have causes of mental effect. The mental problems as a result of the bullying such as sensitivities, overheated, anger, depression, low self-esteem, anxiety, poor quality of sleep, self-harm, to suicide, using illegal drugs, failing school, withdrawing from the school environment so as not to interact with others, and being abusers or taking revenge. Okay, that's all I can present it to you. The time I give back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Miss Christine, for the explanation. Now, let's move to this second session. For the participants, if you have a question, please turn on the microphone, state your name, and ask the question. Anyone, do you have a question?
Can I?
Yes, your name, please.
Okay, well, my name is Surya. Thank you for the time for the moderator. Here, I want to ask the question with the topic is the effect of bullying on the mental health by Miss Christine. That is right if bullying often takes place, especially cyberbullying. So what must we do to avoid becoming a victim, even a perpetrator without our realizing it? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Miss Christine, is that clear?
Okay.
Okay, please answer the
That's a good question for the Surya. So the question is, that is right of bullying often take place, especially cyberbullying. So what we must do to avoid becoming a victim or even a predator without our realizing it. So to avoid becoming a victim or even a predator without our realizing, we can do first, always think of the possible consequence of the posting something. If you think it triggers cyberbullying, you should abandon your intention. The second one is learn whether it's a cyberbullying and pass information on to your friend who don't understand it yet. By being understanding, you can take precaution together. Third, a talk in a private setting, we always assume that Social media is a platform that everyone can see. Don't post anything that might be dangerous in other people's eyes. Fourth, if you want to post a photo of information about someone else, be sure that ask them for permission. And the five, don't flout to move good or lifestyle because the envious person comes to bully you. And then six, avoid posting potential embarrassing photos of yourself and others since cyberbullying may use them to attract a victim. Seven, do not post personal data such as identification number and administration data because people can misuse them. And eight, each time you are about to write a comment, consider in advance whether the words you speak will hurt the feeling of others. Don't let you become a bully without you realizing it. Okay, that is my answer. Thank you for the question, Daisuya. This is a good question to avoid we are becoming a victim or even perpetration of cyberbullying.
Thank you, Miss.
Okay, now we have a question from chat room from Lucian Tari. So what must we do to avoid becoming a victim or even a victim without our realizing it?
Okay, so the things that the victim can do such as first report to the trusted person. You can try to communicate the bullying that befalls you or the people close to you to adult you think you can trust. Adult with authority such as parent or the teacher usually have a better way of handling such as matter without putting the victim at risk. The second, ignoring the attempt of bullying. If possible, you can ignore the people who try to bully you by walking away from the premises and situation where they try to launch an intimidation act. And the third is walk straight with your Tina. Although it sounds simple, proper body language can at least induce and indeed bullying. Try walking with your back raised and your chin raised to deliver a message that you are not a weak person. And the fourth, avoid a physical contact with the suspect. Never put up with the physical intimidation. There is not need to force yourself into a flight and fight, since a physical conflict like this could get your heart. Example of some cases might even lead to serious death. Okay, that is my answer. Thank you for the questions, Yantari. This is good question, actually for the person who the victim or bullying.
Okay, thank you for the participant who asked the question, and thank you, Miss Christine, for the explanation. Now, bullying is a form of violence and usually done by one person or group. There are four types. There are four types of bullying, and they are physical bullying, verbal bullying, relation bullying, and cyberbullying. And there are several rules in bullying: bully victim, and neutral. The effect of bullying on mental health, it can cause depression, low self-esteem, anxiety, poor quality of sleep, suicide, not interact with others, and many more. So the effect of bullying can cause vital mental health. Okay, thank you, Miss Christine, with the explanation. Good. It is very good information from Miss Christine. Now let's move to the last speaker, Miss Linda Yuliana. Miss Linda Yuliana, are you here? Hello.
Yes, Lani, I'm here.
Okay. How are you, Miss Linda? How are you?
I'm fine, Lani, and you?
I'm fine too. Okay, Miss Linda Yuliana, with the topic, the effect of watching blue films. Yeah. Okay, let me tell you a little bit information about Miss Linda
Yes,
Yuliana.
right. Okay, Lani, thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, Miss Linda Yuliana, was born on 22nd March 1995 in New York, and she studied in Harvard University from 2013
Okay.
until 2016. She is working on University of Washington Medical Center, and now she influenced in psychology and yet the best psychologists in America. Wow, such a good biography from Miss Linda Juliana. Miss Linda Juliana, are you ready to delivering the material? Okay, now the time is yours.
Thanks for okay. Thanks for the opportunity that has given to me. Okay. Hello, smart people. My name is Putrinda Yuliana, and how are you today? Okay. I hope everybody in this room is healthy and happy. So today, I'm going to explain about the effect of watching blue film. Okay, first, I wanna ask you about, have you ever watched movie that contain about adult scenes? Everybody can answer?
No, sir. Cannot move.
Okay,
I ever watch it, Miss.
and what
Always,
do you?
every day. No, kidding.
Okay, Ari. Okay, what you feel when you watch it?
Watching
Happy,
the bill.
crazy, or what? Whatever. Okay.
Huh? What I feel? Guilty. For the first is guilty.
Okay. Blue films. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Mary. Blue films is video or movie that contain adult scenes, and watching video or movie that contain adult scenes can create juvenile delinquency, because when the teenagers watch it, maybe they want to try sex. And okay, at first, I want to tell you about someone's experience, and she's Courtney Daniela. She was addicted to blue film. She has revealed all her dark stories on her YouTube account or YouTube channel. She said that she was addicted to blue film for a decade. She forgot whatever was going on around her while watching blue film, and every day she always watched blue film. The point where she felt that her addiction had become very severe when she was 18 years old. At that time, she had obsession with watching blue film until broke up with her boyfriend, because at that time she always compared her ex-boyfriend with actor in adult film that she watched. Okay, blue film do have negative effect for teenager. And now I want to tell you about how the characteristic of teenagers who are addicted to uh, blue film. And the first, they often look nervous when someone asks them to communicate, avoiding eye contact. It happened because they rarely socialize with other people. They too enjoy with their world. And the second, they don't have desire to do activity. Performance decreases. All they want is to watch about blue film. Uh, they don't think of anything else. Concentrate. Their main were filled by pornography, and they have no desire to learn anymore. And the fourth, they like to be alone, especially in his room. They spend their time to watch blue film without other people know. And the fifth, they forget their good habits. They never do anything, so they forget their good habits. And then I want to tell about the effect of watching blue film. Uh, and first, damage the brain. The, the brain damage is the same as the brain damage in a person in a car accident at breakneck speed. The brain damage that is attacked by pornography is the prefrontal cortex, or PFC. For humans, this part of the brain is one of the most important parts because this part only owned by humans. So humans have ethic when compared to animals. This part of brain functions to organize emotion, focus, concentration, distinguish right and wrong, self-control, and think critically. Perception. They think the women and children are sex objects only. And then increase sex exploration. It causes promiscuity and risky sexual behavior. And the third, depression. People who are addicted to watching blue films will feel depressed if they don't watch every day. They relate their stress by watching blue films. And the last but not least, they don't have dream, don't have purpose in life. They don't have dream because they have no desire to achieve anything. Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Miss. You have 5 minutes to present the material.
To avoid from blue, yes. Okay, thank you. To avoid blue film, the role of parent is very important for teenagers. If the parents don't have time with their children, maybe the children will seek other entertainment and explore something they want to know, even it is bad for them. The role of parents to protect their children for the dangers of watching film and is give attention, love, and appreciation to children. Second, get to know the children, friends, and environment. And the third, accompany your children when accessing internet and provide sex education, and then ask your children what they do every day. If our feel addicted to next slide. If our feel addicted to watching blue film, do this way. This is how to get rid of the habit of watching blue film. Okay, you can try to choose friends that have positive behavior. Good friend will certainly make us be better person because they have positive impact in our life. Then you can do positive activity. The first time, someone can be addicted to watching blue film because someone is alone and doesn't do any activity. Therefore, they make yourself as busy as possible. Do positive activities such as playing with friends, doing social activity, and then pray to God. Getting close to God can be a way overcome your addiction to watching blue film. If we remember about God, we will be more afraid to sin. And the last, exercising. Exercising is one way to overcome addiction to watch blue film. By exercising, our body is healthy and our mind is also clear. Okay, I think that's all about my material. And do you have any question?
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Ninda, for the material. And now we will open the discussion session. If you have a question, turn on your mic, please, and ask the question. Is there any question?
I want to ask some question.
Okay, your name, please.
Okay, my name is Pramita. So for Miss Linda, I want to ask something. Okay, I think for some people, watching blue film is a common activity, and if we look at this problem, what should we do if we want to watching blue film but we still not addicted and still avoid it from the harmful effect of blue film? So I think that's all my question. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Swati. Miss Linda, is it clear?
Yes,
Okay, please
it is
answer.
clear. Okay, it's good question. Ms. Swati Paramita, and I will answer the question. And if you want to watch adult movies, consider it as a gift. For example, when you achieve something, you can watch the film, and you have to know your goals. You must be able to manage your time well, so that you can still achieve your dream without being addicted to blue film. Okay, I think that's my answer. It's clear, Ms. Warti Paramita.
I think that's all clear. Thank you so much, Miss.
Okay, thank you for the
Okay, you're welcome.
now we have one question uh, come in the message. I want to ask a question from Safira Ides. If parents know their child is accessing the film, what should parents do? Okay,
Okay,
please answer, Miss Linda.
thank you, Ides. I think, and the first that must the parent do is don't get angry and don't use harsh sentence. Usually, children who are caught seeing pornographic content will also lie and cover up. If they do that, be sure to calm down and keep our emotions. Next, take this opportunity to advise the children not to repeat his actions. Next, tell your children if curiosity is normal, especially when entering puberty. However, let him know that it is not good for his age. So, try to invite the children to find other thing that is use, useful on internet. Find out how children or teenagers can see uh, adult content and tell the dangers of pornography. I think that's all about my answer. If you got it,
Miss
okay.
Linda.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay. Now I would like to conclude this topic. The effect of watching blue film for teenagers, it can damage your brain, change our attitude, increase sex exploration, depression, and do not have purpose in life. Parents take a big role to protect their children from the effect of watching blue film. Without and what can parents do? Parents can give attention or love to their children. know their children, friends, and environment, provide sex education, and ask your children about their activity. Um, okay, thank you for the wonderful information from Miss Linda Yuliana. Hmm.
Okay, Miss
Okay,
Rani.
thank you, Miss. Now I would like to say thank you for the five speakers in this seminar who give us the wonderful information and knowledge about juvenile delinquency. And thank you for the participants in the seminar for joining us until this time. Uh, I would like and I also want to say sorry if I make mistakes in this seminar as a moderator. And for the next time, I will give the time for the host, Miss Tina. Now the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator. So, that's the Juvenile Delinquency Webinar 2020. Thank you to all participants who have participated in this event. I'm Madedina Martini Putri as Master of Ceremony. I apologize if there are any mistake, either intentional or unintentional. To close this event, we wish you good afternoon and Om Santi 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 Om. Thank you. The participants are welcome to leave the room.